Hey everybody. So okay, I was thinking about what topic. Oh god, that looks awful. I got bit by a dog and it kind of hurt. Not one of my dogs. So I'm like, oh, it looks terrible. So don't look at that part. Pretend it's something else. I was like, oh god, that's awful. And I'm fine now. He didn't have to go into quarantine, and it wasn't like an attack. He was just a big goofy dog being goofy. That's what happens when I'm surrounded by so many animals. The perils of being an animal lover. All right, so I was thinking about what I was going to write today or talk about today, and a topic came up, and I said, okay, somebody needs to hear this. Somebody out there right now needs to hear this. So if you're watching, I hope it's you. If you're watching and you don't know if it's you, pass it on to your friends. But somebody out there needs to hear this. And I am notorious for this, or I have been in my life. Do you find yourself going back and forth? Like you have your creative business, you're a creative entrepreneur, and you love it, and things are humming along for a while. You're getting work, you're getting contacts, you're just really optimistic about everything, and then something happens. You have a little stumbling block of some sort. Maybe clients late on paying and it's throwing your whole financial picture in the disarray. Maybe you have not had a client pay in a while, so you're struggling with making your bills work. Maybe you to the point you're pawning stuff up. Maybe you've had a really difficult client that's making you rethink everything about life, like why are you doing this? And you find yourself fantasizing, and you can't believe you're fantasizing about it, but really thinking about, like, you know what, maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should just stop doing this, quit, and go back to doing whatever it was I was doing before I decided to do this creative business. Maybe I just need to hang this up, but maybe I just need to just put it all away. Maybe you're spending a lot of money on your creative business, and at this point it's really a glorified hobby, and you're not making any money, or it doesn't feel like a business at all. Just if it's really a hobby that you're spending a lot of money on, but you're telling people it's a business, and you're just at your wit's end. You're just ready to quit, and maybe you have quit and you go back to doing whatever it is that you were doing before. The thing is, though, all those dreams and the thoughts and the things that motivated you to start your creative business, they're not going to go away that easily. They're not going to go away. So you can keep going back and forth between I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, it's going to be amazing, I'm going to do this. Nope, I'm going to quit. I'm selling all my equipment, I'm going to quit. I'm just going to do the thing. And I guarantee you, because that's what you were doing before, something had happened before to make you want to get out of that situation to go back to your creative business. So you're just doing like a pendulum back and forth. When you're in that state of back and forthness, you're not really approaching your life from a creative mindset way. You are just letting it flow back and forth, and you have two disparate concepts, and as long as you break it down to you have this choice or that choice, you're never going to find equilibrium. It's never going to work, because as soon as you start here, something will happen and you're going to start wanting to go to the other extreme, and something will happen, you're going to start wanting to go into the other extreme, and you're just going to keep going back and forth, back and forth. The things that caused you to pick one over the other, that's not going to go away. It's not going to stop. So there will come a point you are going to have to make some hard decisions. I'm not going to tell you that you should or should not quit your creative business. I hope you don't, because honestly, I wouldn't be doing this if that was the case. But if you are going back and forth between these two concepts, there's a reason for that. And I guarantee you that if you go back to your regular, traditional, whatever you want to call it, life, it won't be long before you're going to want to go back to where you were before. I go through this myself all the time. There are so many times I'm like, I wish I could just sit behind a desk and type all day. I wish I could. I have this moment from time to time. Oh, wouldn't it be so great? And then you start looking back in hindsight and imagining only the good parts. This is what happens when you move forward in your life. You start looking back in time, and you only remember the glory days. You don't remember anything otherwise. That's what people say for those that have birth children. They're like, oh, well, it's a pain, you forget. So yeah, after some time, we tend to only remember the good parts. So yeah, I do it myself. I go through moments of saying, maybe I should just quit. No. And then I remind myself, I really put myself into it. I look at all the things I've already been through, and I remind myself that it's not going to magically get better. There's no magic potion that says everything will be hunky-dory and fine. And the reality is, I wished for a creative life. I wished for it. I prayed on it. I meditated on it. That's all I wanted. I said one day, and I kept saying, I'm going to do this other thing to be able to have that creative life. You watch, I'm going to be able to have it. And I framed up everything. I lined up everything in my life to be able to do that. But instead of getting that, what I got in return was Source saying, you are not going to get there from where you're at. I see where you're going. Appreciate you. It's not going to get there. It's not going to work. And so everything was pulled out from under me. I mean, I asked for it deep down subconsciously, and that was the only way to get me there, because I wasn't going to do it on my own. So I can go back, but it's not. I'm going to still have that need and that desire. I'm still going to have that longing of having this life. It's not going to go away. So you get to a point where you have to say, look, either I'm going to push through this, or that's it forever and ever. There was going to come a point you have to push through. You have to push through. You have to stand and deliver. And ask yourself, have I done everything I possibly can? Have I really, really, really put in my full effort? Have I done the hard work? Have I really conquered my mindset enough? This is where mindset comes in. I have started and stopped being an actress so many times in my life. Oh my gosh, so many times. I have started and stopped, started and stopped, started and stopped, started and stopped, over and over and over. I'm surprised I didn't get whiplash the way I started and stopped. And I look back now and thinking, like, why did I quit that first time? Why didn't I keep going that first time? What would my life be like now? Because I got scared. I got scared and freaked out, and I didn't know how to handle it, so I scurried off to what seemed like a safe option, and that felt really uncomfortable, so I scurried back. That started feeling comfortable. I scurried back. When you start to have fear and tension tension is the best word for it. When you start to have that tension in your life where you're like, this isn't working, think of it like a rubber band. And you're pulling the rubber band back, and you're pulling it in one extreme, and then you get tension, you get tension, you get tension. And inevitably, that rubber band is going to pop and go in the opposite direction. But then what happens? Same thing. You start pulling that rubber band, and it pops. So the creative life, looking at a creative option, is removing all the obstacles and tension altogether and creating something totally brand new. It's not an A-B. It's not just an A-B-C thing. Like, it's not ABC. Don't even put a C. C would be the option. It's not just A and B. Those aren't your only two choices. You can expand different ways. You can remove the lever pulling one way or another and create a completely different option. That's where mindset comes in. If you really insist that there's only one way to making this life come true, you're just going to keep going back and forth. What will help is get down to the root of why you think the way you do. What energies are you putting out there? What is holding you back? What are the messages that you are saying to yourself subconsciously that's causing this flow back and forth? I meet so many creative entrepreneurs, and they're doing different business tactics. They're following all these online gurus. They're following mentors. And mind you, all these are good ideas. Get information, get feedback, look at what other people are doing. But remember, ultimately, you have to do what works for you and your business. So if you're just copying what everybody else does, but you're not tackling your mindset, no tactic is going to work. None of them. Because you're just going to end up going right back to the subconscious messaging that you're putting out there, because that's what we're programmed to do. The subconscious messaging will always win out. So if there is a part of you that feels that you need someone to take care of you, that you really need someone to take care of you, you can't do it on your own, you need someone to take care of you, a husband, a wife, a parent, an uncle, whatever. If the messaging was, you can't do this alone, you need someone to take care of you. You need a big, strong person to take care of you because you are small and weak, and they're just better and stronger than you. You need someone to take care of you. If that is a messaging that you are subconsciously carrying with you, it doesn't matter how successful you get, you're going to slowly make decisions and start going in terms of, oh, but I really need someone to take care of me. I really need to make sure I have a partner. I really need to make sure I have someone that I really need to watch some days. I really need this. And slowly all the work that you did make it through, it's going to stretch and then snap. You're going to let it go because you're going to self-sabotage or make decisions that move you into the realm to support your subconscious messaging of, oh, you know what? That wouldn't have happened if I had a spouse. Oh, that wouldn't have. I really need a partner. I can't do this on my own. So you're going to make decisions to support that subconscious messaging. Each and every single time. You can be the most brilliant marketer, business coach, have the biggest financial team around you, have the biggest groups of people around you, but if you don't tackle your mindset, you're just going to keep going back and forth, and it's so frustrating. You're going to frustrate yourself. What happens with all this frustration is you find you don't really get very far. It's that whole like 1 step forward, 2 steps back thing. Like you make some movement, but then you snap yourself right back to that subconscious messaging, but you don't like it, so you pull through and then you snap yourself back over and over and over, and it is exhausting and unnecessary. You can change it if you change your mindset. If you really get down to what are the subconscious messages that I am putting through? What do you actually believe? Not what you tell people you believe. What do you actually believe? What were the messages that you got installed years ago? Because that's what you're doing. If you don't like your life, look around, because your life is a reflection of what messages you are carrying with you each and every single time, because vibrations attract vibrations. Excuse me, it is dusty, and that's my own fault. I need to dust today. I have a lot of dogs, a lot of dust. So I digress. But if those, you have to really look at your messages. And every time I sit with someone, and whatever their challenge in their creative business, and I let them talk, and I ask them about their family, I ask them about their history, and I ask them, like, when you're in those moments and you're struggling, what do you find yourself saying to yourself? Sometimes they tell me right away, sometimes they don't. I always find out because I'm a good coach. But those messages, that running script that you give to yourself, don't ignore those, because those are the things that are running the ship. That's the program. All we can do is run our program. You can change your programming. You don't have to stick with the same programming. It's you can make modifications to the factory install. Actually, it's not even the factory install is that you got this, and you are a brilliant soul, and you have no hindrances and no blockages. That's what was installed from the factory. Everything else is stuff that we got along the way. And I'm laughing because top news stories are coming out, and you know what? I can't even handle that right now. So I do keep up with whatever's in the news, and I have been keeping up with latest developments. That's just not what we're talking about right now. So I'm going to focus on the task at hand and do that. So as I was saying, your subconscious messages are what's pushing you through. If you don't know how to dig deep into them, and sometimes we lie to ourselves. Oftentimes we lie to ourselves. Sometimes we don't lie to ourselves, we just ignore it. Sometimes we know what's there and we just don't do anything about it, or we don't know how to do anything about it. Get a mindset coach. Get a mindset coach. Focus on how to shift and pay attention to your mindset before everything else. Because it doesn't matter what else you do. Ultimately, you're just going to keep going back to whatever your mindset is saying. If you are on this page and following my stuff, because I work primarily with creative entrepreneurs, I love creative people. I'm a creative person, and I find that a lot of the motivation, manifestation work, mindset work doesn't necessarily talk directly to creative entrepreneurs, and people like to feel at home. However, if you feel led to someone else, fine, go see that person, but get right with your mindset. And it's not just a bunch of affirmations. It's not just a bunch of feel-good mumbo jumbo. It's figuring out, what am I putting out there? Like, what is my subconscious messaging? What is the vibration I'm putting out there? It's all about energy and vibrations, and like attracts like. So if you're saying, but I follow the law of attraction, well, it's not what you think it is, because the law of attraction is not just I say great things to myself and I get everything. You're already attracting everything. Like, you're already doing it. So if you don't like it, then look at what you're saying to yourself. Look at your messaging, because you're already attracting whatever you have going on. So if you don't like what's happening, it's because you're attracting it. You can attract different. And it's not even a matter of better or worse, because just like all energy is not good or bad. It just is. It's how you perceive it and how you utilize it. So just like you have just the parts that are really hard to deal with, you have a really critical side. And a lot of people come to me like, well, I just don't say to myself any critical things. Well, that critical side of you, the part of you that is constantly putting yourself down and telling you not to do things, even that served a purpose. That critical part of you, that was the part of you that was trying to protect you from whatever was going on. So if you look at your life and you had things in your life that were dangerous or caused concern or fear, and you have this running script to keep you what you deem safe and secure, even if it's not working for you anymore, even if it's holding you back from all sorts of things, that's your programming, so you're going to fall back on that, and that's what you keep attracting. So if you find yourself going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, it's because you have messaging, subconscious messaging, that is in direct conflict with what you say you want. And therefore, you're just going to keep going back and forth. You're going to get pulled in one direction, want to fight through, snap to another direction. You're going to get pulled back, and you're just going to keep ping-ponging. That is for your creative career. That's for relationships. Oh my gosh, when I meet people that are in like on again, off again relationships, what is going on there? What's the subconscious messaging that you have going on about relationships and what you deserve and how you value yourself? There's a little gnat in here. Go away, gnat. There is going to come a point where you just have to stop. Not stop everything, just stand and deliver and look around and say, okay, I gotta remove some of this tension altogether, or else I'm just gonna keep ping-ponging back and forth. I have to create a brand new paradigm to work for. It's time to create a new story, because otherwise you're just gonna keep going back and forth. But you can't obliterate one side. If you obliterate one side, you're going to go too far, and you can't obliterate the other. So it's kind of, you're creating something brand new to alleviate the tension. And how you're creating something brand new is you remove those stories, you change those stories, you make it different. And this is part of this is creating a new life. Instead of saying I can either have this or this, creativity says, what if we do this and go at it in a completely different way? That's where you can use your creative nature to create a new life. You can have any life you want if you're willing to change that story. And I don't even want to say it's hard. I really don't, because it doesn't have to be. It literally can be as easy as like, okay, I let it go. But you have to let it go. Like you have to let it 100% go. And sometimes we don't want to do that because we like our story. We say we don't like our story, but sometimes we like the story. We like it because it's been a part of us for so long. Oh my gosh, it was a part of me for so long. Being that steadfast, type A, goal setting, doing all the right thing, good girl story, but has a secret yearning for something beautiful on the other side. Like that was the story that I was putting out to myself, and that was what I was going to keep maintaining, ignoring the fact that it's like, okay, at some point I need to just live my life and be authentic, because it's really tiresome to go back and forth. So I know there's someone who needs to hear that today. If you are going back and forth in your life, you're if you really love it so much, have at it, but you are wasting your time and your energy, because if you're just going back and forth, you're never going to go forward. You're just going to go back and forth in one little spot, back and forth, and that's not helping you. It's not helping the world. It's not bringing you any closer to your highest self, because you're just stuck in a little loop. And so you have to break free, and you have to push through to something bigger and better and more abundant. That means pushing through fear. There is something of fear in there as well that is telling you that you can't have something, you can't do something, you're only as good as XYZ. And you have to push through that to come up with a completely different outcome, instead of just settling on this back and forth business. And when you are ready, and I put this out there today, I was like, okay, I need to really get people to know. Part of one of my classes right now online is an online course about how to attract an ideal client using mindset. Because I know for a lot of creative professionals, being able to sustain a business, being able to have money coming in, being able to get the right clients, but without feeling like you're running around in circles and chasing your own tail, so to speak, because that expends a lot of energy too. So using mindset to let the right clients come, to draw them to you, to draw in the opportunities that you need, to really open the door and clear the clutter, so then all that energy that you are putting out there, that vibration, can actually get to you. That's money well spent. That's something to focus on, because it's totally different instead of going back and forth like, okay, maybe I'll try this tactic. Maybe I'll try this tactic. Okay, I'm going to do this now. Okay, I'm going to do this marketing thing. Okay. There is value in doing tactics and doing media. Obviously, you need to do some business work, but if that's all you're doing and you're not seeing end results and you're just spinning your wheels, so you feel that you're busy, and feeling busy is making you feel productive, but you're not actually creating, and you're not actually selling, and you're not actually getting any clients, and you're not actually able to support yourself and your activities and your life, then you're not being productive. You're just busy. And this is coming from someone who is busy. So I know when I'm not actually seeing any reward, then it's like, okay, I need to check my mindset. What's going on with me? And when I do, without fail, the things I need do come. Hence why I woke up this morning and be like, okay, you need to get serious and really tell people about, this is what you have available, this is what you need to do. Because then I see, and I love having people come into my website, and that's why I give a lot of free stuff. I want you to succeed. Even if you don't believe in yourself, even if you are surrounded by a family that is harder than you, let me tell you, I believe in you. I do. You're a creative entrepreneur. I believe in you. I want you to be successful. I want to see your art. I want to see your projects. I want to see what you produce. I love seeing new things. Please, if for nothing else, I want to see it. I'm rooting for you. I'm 100% rooting for you. I got you. I can't do it for you though. But I can offer you what I know so you can move forward. So I offer plenty. Everything on this site, this particular group, will always be free. This will never be a site that charges. I might do something different for people that do my bigger courses I talked about, my big mega course, but I also want to make sure I give you enough just to give you a few wins. Just to give you a few wins to start letting you dip your feet in the changing my mindset pool. Because once you have it, once you start to see it work, you can't stop. You're going to want to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. That's what happened to me. Once I started actually seeing and knowing what I was looking for, because I've been studying mindset for so long, once I started recognizing the benefits I was seeing, because sometimes you don't even realize that, oh, wow, I've had all this great stuff happen to me. I had no idea. Once you start really seeing it, you can't help but keep going. You're going to want to keep going because otherwise it makes no sense. Especially when people, and like the affirmation people, I hate to get on the affirmation people, but it cracks me up. I meet people that go through mantras and affirmations over and over and over and over again. And then when it comes time to actually apply that in their life, boom, right off the bat, they start going right to negative. I'm like, what happened to all that affirmation work? Why hasn't that become your immediate go-to? Why are you putting yourself down when you just spent like 2 hours saying I am worthy and I am of value, but someone cuts you off or you drop something or you don't like your painting and the first thing you say like, oh, I'm so stupid. What happened to your affirmation? So affirmations don't work if you're not going to really internalize it and make them the go-to. But all these years when I started recognizing, wow, when I remain calm and centered and get my mindset intact, things always work out. Things always work out. And that has changed my whole life. So even now, when I get moments of like, no one's doing this, oh, what am I gonna do? Oh, I'm really nervous about it. I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry, but don't stress. Don't worry about it because that's just gonna make more. And I see it happen in my life every day, and I'm teaching it to my children because that's part of my long-term goal is to create legacy, and they love it. I tell them every day, we are the luckiest people in the world. And they say, oh, I don't know. But then when they see something, I point out, like, did you see that? Did you see what just happened? Did you see how that opened up and everything worked out? I have a friend of mine. I wonder if he's watching. Christian, if you're watching, then say hey. And I tease him because I was like, you are the luckiest person I've ever met in my life. This is even before I got like really into mindset. He's the luckiest person. Like everything always works out for him. Now I realize everything works out for him because he expects it to. He's a very happy, good-natured person. He loves life. He loves opportunity. And he doesn't overthink when it's time to do something. He just goes and does it. Because he trusts that it's going to work out for him. So if you keep going back and forth between two disparate ideas, it's because you don't trust that you're going to be able to push through. So you keep running back to the old way. You keep running back to the old story. If you keep running back to the old story, you're still going to want to get out of it. And you're going to go back and forth over and over. So you need to obliterate it and be willing to step into a new story and trust that you're going to have it. It's going to work out. Same with running back and forth to an old relationship. Because you're so used to that story, you don't want to get out of it. But you can, and you should, because it's not going to change if you get yourself all in a loop over and over and over again. So get online, find yourself a mindset coach, and I recommend a person because you read the books and do your studying and do your research. It also helps to have an actual coach. When I hired my personal mindset coach, just the strides I was making and how it helped me connect all the things I had researched and read, it was the final piece to help connect it. And I saw huge growth, and I still see huge growth every day. So I recommend at some point in your journey, get a coach, a good coach that resonates with you. If you want to work with me, you have to go online and sign up, get some time with me. I do offer coaching sessions for an hour at a time, or get my online course. Get it today. Get it today. It is very reasonable. This is not a $700 course. That's not on there yet. It will be, but it's not there yet. But everything out there, there are free things, there are inexpensive things, so you can start to put it all together, because it's the research and also how to apply it, how to start applying it. And if you don't do it today, then you have to ask yourself when. How much you're going to keep spinning yourself in circles, because you can spin indefinitely. You can keep spinning, or you can say, okay, enough. I am dedicating to pushing through this and figuring this out. So you are in control of that. I recommend do it now. There is no reason to wait. It's because it's not going to change. You're just going to keep spinning. The more you spin, the more you expend energy that should be going to your creative pursuits and a life of abundance. That's where your energy is most served, not just spinning around running your hamster wheel over and over again. I'm just laughing at how many animal references I use. God, I'm such an animal person. How could anyone think? I've had a couple people I try to go out with, and one guy, bless him, bless his heart, as I like to say down here, and he spent the first half hour complaining about his roommate's dog and how he hates dogs. And I'm like, this is never going to work. Thank you for your time. This is never going to work. He's like, why? I was like, because I love dogs. And he's like, no, that shouldn't be a problem. I said, dude, if you are not like on the floor, like in the dog's face with like birds flying around you ready to get down, then I am not the girl for you. A very nice young man, but I'm like, no. It's good to know. It's good to be authentic and know yourself. So that was my message for today. The going back and forth. It's not going to get better. There's a reason for it. And you're not crazy. You're just fearful. And you're going to have to push through and figure out what is the messaging. You're not under any obligation to, but you won't get any benefits and rewards if you don't. So it's probably better if you do. So that's my messaging for today. So yay! I did another video earlier. I'm so excited. I actually love doing these videos. Once again, if you have questions, concerns, comments, shoot me a DM, feedback, positive reinforcement, whatever. Or just say hey. Just like I like your hair. Send this on. If you have a creative entrepreneur of your life or someone that you know that's going back and forth, send them this video and say, listen to what she's saying about going back and forth, but you're going to have to push through at some point, or else you're just going to keep spinning your wheels. It's not going to change. If you think it's going to change, it's not going to change. It's physics. It's you're pulling attention from one angle. When that gets too much, you snap back to the other angle. When that gets too, you keep snapping back and forth until you remove those obstacles and you go create a new story altogether. Okay. All right, my dears, I'm going to go. Well, I might end up taking a nap or reading. I have to get off the book. I feel like I have so many cool things to do, and I want to do them all at once. But what you can do is go online. The link is down below to all my online courses. I'm going to put a direct link to that one course, but there are so many courses I have out there covering different topics. And I put in more, like every other week I'll put in a new course. Like, I got an idea, let me just record a new course. So get out there, get the help you need. Do it today. I expect to go back online and see a bunch of new people and be like, you know what, she's right. Well, let me get those clients. Start using your mindset and see for yourself how it makes a difference. Because once you get that first win, once you invest and get that first win, you will be a believer. So go right now. All right, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna let you go. Go online, link is below, and I can't wait to hear about your progress. All right, talk to you later. Bye.